Well, David, thank you for being here. I want to jump right to it. What do you think happened to baby DeOrr?
I think what happened is, well, it's a whole lot more technical than and difficult to say what happened to him. But when you look at all the aspects of everything, a lot of people are pointing the fingers at mom, dad. But if you get right down to it, the odd picture, if you will, the odd scenario or the odd thing in this whole issue is Isaac. Isaac is, I believe Isaac's the one that had something to do with little baby Dior's disappearance.
And any idea if that was some sort of accident or some sort of something that was done on purpose based on your investigation?
Um, it's more of looking into the mind of the person. I believe Isaac and the grandfather had been friends for a long time, and Isaac had seen a lot of images of Jessica, the family, and then I think in Isaac's mind he had some type of image that he could be with Jessica. He liked Jessica and was infatuated with her, and I believe that he thought this was an opportunity. If I get rid of the child, then I can have Jessica. That gets rid of Vernal. That gets rid of the child, and I can have Jessica.
Now, you've been up there to the campsite and you brought your dogs up there too. I think you've been up there a few times, haven't you?
I've been up there 5 times.
5 times. Has anything stuck out to you? Anything, brought to your attention?
Yeah, the first time we went, the dogs alerted on a certain area. And what's strange about that is we didn't find anything at that point in time. So the sheriff asked us we had to leave. They would deal with it. They would come in and search later for that area. But what's interesting in that is Isaac puts himself there. And the family or Jessica had seen Isaac in that area for a long time or for a short, brief time, but Isaac puts himself there for a long time,
Where the dogs hit?
where the dogs hit. And see, when DeOrr, baby DeOrr goes missing, what is the other thing that is missing in this whole ordeal is Isaac. Isaac and baby DeOrr are both missing for a long period of time. So the last time we went was kind of a strange thing, but we decided to go outside the scope of where the dogs alerted, and we went up on top of the mountain, and there we found an old jacket. The jacket didn't have any pockets in it, so there wouldn't be any food in the pockets or anything. Something had to be wrapped up in this jacket in order for animals to scratch and tear at it and bite at it. And from what I know from going into school and all, it did appear to have a lot of blood stains on it.
Mm. And was it a child's jacket or like a man's jacket, adult jacket?
it it's like a fleece pullover, a large pullover jacket that you couldn't really tell because it was torn to shreds, and it didn't have any labels on it. So you couldn't really tell what size, and plus it's been out in the weather, so its shrinkage and everything else. It wasn't a child's, it was an adult's. And Jessica did make comments about when she did see Isaac that it appeared that he was carrying a two-tone tackle box. And this jacket appears to be a two-tone jacket, fleece over pullover.
Mm. Okay, so you said that was on top of the mountain. For people that aren't familiar, how far is the top of the mountain from the campsite?
Um,
Like,
well,
could you walk it?
oh, you can walk it. It's difficult for a person to walk it. My canines can run it, but for a person, it's difficult. And if you want to know my opinion of what I feel like had transpired, I feel like that Isaac could have gotten rid of the child in this jacket, put it somewhere. Animals came back that night, got it, and toted it right up the mountain. It just happened to fall out of the jacket, and they kept on going. But see, that mountain, when you climb up that mountain, there's a top flat area, and it is beautiful. But on the backside of this mountain, it is steep. It is like straight down. You can't have dogs on that side of the mountain. So if you're going to find anything, it's going to be very, very difficult in that terrain on the backside of that mountain where it would have been continued to be carried.
So do you think we'll ever find DeOrr?
We can. And the only way we're going to be able to do this is to have so many volunteers and supporters and people out there on foot and just track every inch of that campground from the campground all the way up the mountain to the backside of the mountain. Now that seems like a big feat, and it is,
Mm-hmm.
but it can be done if people are willing to come together on a certain time and just do it. And I believe we can find something of him. Now, let's go back to now. The jacket thing is just a theory, just a thought of mine, just from what I've seen and everything. But let's say he was buried down at the bottom of where the campground is. Let's just say he was buried and just left there. The difficult thing for canines to do is smell through manure, animal feces, and with this much time going by, a canine could be the best trained canine in the world could be standing right on top of it. It could be buried 2 or 3 feet, and the dog could miss it because it's been so long. There's very little odor that's going to be there, and ground penetrating radar is going to be difficult because that ground is constantly settling. So, in all, you either A, search all the property inch by inch with a bunch of volunteers or people and find something on top of the ground where the animal has grabbed it and took off with it, which the good option one. Or number two, you're going to have to go in there with equipment and dig up the entire area to
Yeah.
get this boy. And and people say, well, why don't they just do that? Well, it's a huge area. It
Right.
is a large area.
Right. Yeah. It's massive.
And I'll tell you, the best thing for this case that I have seen that's come out of this case, you did an interview with Isaac.
Mhm.
And without that, I wouldn't have my thoughts and opinions. I'd be really at a blank. But after watching those interviews, which was one of the best things ever, you can get, and people that profile other individuals, they see what I see. And just the ordinary person watching that said, oh, well, he's telling the truth. No, he's not. I've had Isaac and the dad, Vernal, in front of each other, talking to one another. Eventually, it got almost to a screaming match until I had to separate them and we left.
Mm.
So there's a lot more to this than the average people out there. I've never spoke about what has transpired or what's going on, and I kind of feel bad not to, but there again, to hold some of the integrity of the case, you just gotta bite your tongue. And I just tell people over and over, it's not the parents. It's not the parents. And for two people like them that are young, separated, not on good terms a lot of times, the secret would have come out if it was them.
So you don't think the parents had anything to do with it and that they don't know any more than what they've already said?
No. And if people would have known, see, I've always had the question, well, Vernal, if Jessica didn't do it because she was over there on the island and you walk up, you know you didn't do it. Why didn't you go after Grandpa? Why didn't you go after Isaac? And Vernal said, I did. I said, well, why didn't that hit the media? Why didn't anybody speak of this? How you went after Isaac and jerked him up and got separated by the marshals or law enforcement at that time. He said nobody spoke of it. And that's the thing. Emotions speak louder than anything. If you watch the people, you can see who's got guilt and who doesn't have guilt. And I can tell you, Jessica and Vernal, they're not guilty in this whole ordeal.
Do you think that Grandpa Bob knew more before he passed, David?
No, the thing about Grandpa, he was easy and laid back, and I could see where Grandpa fell asleep, and he wakes up and he's got guilt. Child's gone. He was supposed to watch him, and Bob could fall asleep at a drop of a hat. I mean, you could be sitting there talking to him, and he'd fall asleep on you. And I don't. Um, in his mind, I believe he knew something of his friend, but yet again, he's the one that brought the friend. So he had that guilt. And you could read that on his face, but as far as him knowing exactly, I don't believe he knew anything.
Mm. All right. Well, here we are 10 years later. Anything that you want to add?
Um, keep doing what you're doing, do the interviews, give everybody, like when y'all did y'all's interviews, you interviewed mom, dad, you interviewed Isaac, grandpa, all these people. When you interview all of them, you can come to a conclusion. But when you only go after mom, dad, and sporadic people, not everyone that's involved, that becomes a problem. So I do want to say thank you for doing what you have done for this case. It's just now it's gotten to the point where we need a lot of people. Maybe have a um, some kind of deal where everybody goes up there. We all have this big meeting all over the country to the campsite, and let's all participate in trying to find and search for this boy.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
I'd love to interview all of them again, David. A lot of them aren't talking. They don't, want anything to do with it, but I appreciate you, sharing your thoughts and
Well, I'll tell you, Jessica and Vernal are leery because they got slammed so hard in this whole ordeal, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them for not wanting to do interviews and all. And they would if they got the fair shake of, hey, listen to what I'm asking you to do. Listen to what I'm saying. I don't know. And it's hard for people to understand why, as a parent, would you not know what happened to your child? Well, some things happen. And when you have this whole scenario, I mean, I can understand their leeriness of doing interviews, but I encouraged them to try to, and I'll be there with them if they want to do them. It's just they get so many fingers pointed at them. They get death threats on them. They get accused constantly, and I can understand the pressure on them. And everybody just doesn't know what really happened on that mountain when the child went missing and how angry Bernal and Jessica were at Grandpa and Isaac. But yet no one shared those emotions that happened up there and the arguments that happened up there. And maybe I've given a little insight about it, but just a little 5 minute video, can't get everyone into what's really going on,
yeah.
but we try. We
Yeah.